Have you heard of a country in South America where dense rainforests stretch endlessly, yet the population is so sparse you might not see another person for miles? Suriname, one of the least populated countries in the world, is an overlooked place with a unique identity. Its official language isn't Spanish or Portuguese, and its history includes a dictator turned president. From glowing frogs in the jungle to a baffling electoral system, Suriname is full of surprises. With breathtaking nature and a rich cultural blend, it's a place like no other. Let's explore what makes it so extraordinary. Tucked between Brazil, Guyana, and French Guiana, Suriname is the smallest country in South America, covering just over 163,000 square kilometers, less than half the size of Costa Rica. Despite its small size, Suriname is a land of incredible natural and cultural diversity, offering a unique window into one of the most biodiverse and least densely populated places on Earth. More than 90% of Suriname's land is covered in pristine tropical rainforests, creating a sanctuary for a stunning variety of wildlife. In 2006, researchers discovered 27 previously unknown species here, including a luminous purple frog that appears to glow in the dark. Suriname's forests are home to parrots, monkeys, tapirs, and dolphins, as well as rare species like the harpy eagle, one of the largest birds of prey, and the nectar-eating bat, essential for pollination. Rivers conceal electric catfish, while the rainforest shelters strikingly blue poison dart frogs, known for their potent toxins. In stark contrast to this abundance of wildlife, Suriname is one of the world's least densely populated nations. As of 2024, its population density is approximately 3.84 people per square kilometer. For perspective, London's nearly 9 million residents live in an area 100 times smaller than Suriname. This low population density highlights how nature dominates the landscape, with vast areas remaining virtually untouched. Despite this, Suriname shows significant urbanization. In 2023, about 66% of its population lived in cities, with the capital, Paramaribo, hosting nearly half the nation's total population, around 241,000 people. Beyond Paramaribo, the country's wilderness takes over, offering a striking contrast to the city's bustling life. This juxtaposition between urban hubs and untouched nature raises important questions about how Suriname balances preserving its natural heritage with meeting the needs of its people. As we explore deeper, we'll uncover the cultural richness, historical challenges, and innovative approaches shaping this remarkable country's future. Travel back in time to a world untouched by colonization, where the land we now call Suriname was home to the Arawak and Carib peoples, who thrived in harmony with the land, crafting tools, finding sustenance in its rivers, and preserving traditions under starry skies. This balance shifted with the arrival of European explorers in the late 15th century, and by the 17th century, Suriname became a Dutch colony. The Dutch transformed Suriname into an agricultural powerhouse, cultivating sugar and coffee through the labor of Africans under deeply unjust conditions. Amid this oppression, resilience emerged as many escaped into the rainforests, forming maroon communities that preserved African traditions and stood as symbols of defiance. Notably, in the 18th century, Maroons secured treaties granting them autonomy and trade rights, a rare acknowledgement of sovereignty by colonial powers. The Treaty of Breda in 1667 marked a pivotal moment when the Dutch exchanged New Netherland, including present-day New York City, with the English for Suriname. This decision significantly influenced the trajectories of both regions. Slavery's abolition in 1863 brought change but also challenges. To fill the labor void, indentured workers from India, Indonesia, and China arrived, introducing their customs and traditions. Today, Suriname's cultural tapestry is one of the most diverse in the Americas, where Hindu temples, Javanese markets, and Chinese festivals coexist. Despite its location in South America, Dutch remains the official language of government, education, and business, a legacy of Suriname's colonial past that sets it apart from its neighbors. Achieving independence peacefully in 1975, Suriname faced political instability, including a military coup in 1980 and the dark period of a historical event in 1982. But its journey isn't over. What makes Suriname one of the most culturally diverse and harmonious countries in the world, despite being among the least populated? Before we continue, I have a special 10-second request for all of you listening. If you can help me in any way, just press the notification bell and hit that subscribe button. It means the world. It really supports this channel. And if you do that for me, I promise my team and I will do everything we can to make this show even better for you. Deal? True to its motto, various cultures, one country, Suriname is a cultural mosaic where ethnicities, traditions, and religions coexist harmoniously. Indo-Surinamese, descendants of Indian laborers, make up about 27% of the population. Maroons, the descendants of escaped African slaves, account for nearly 22%, while Creoles, of mixed African and European ancestry, comprise 16%. Javanese descendants, brought from Indonesia during Dutch colonial rule, form about 14%, and indigenous peoples, including the Arawak and Carib tribes, represent 4%. Smaller groups, such as Chinese, Lebanese, and Europeans, also enrich the country's cultural fabric. Religion in Suriname is as diverse as its population. Christianity, practiced by 48%, includes Roman Catholicism and Protestant denominations. Hinduism is followed by 22%, primarily among Indo-Surinamese, while Islam, practiced by 14%, is common among Javanese and some Indo-Surinamese. Traditional indigenous and Afro-Surinamese beliefs and practices further reflect the nation's cultural depth. Remarkably, Suriname exemplifies religious tolerance. In Paramaribo, the capital, a mosque and synagogue stand side by side, symbolizing peaceful coexistence. This harmony in faith is a defining characteristic of the nation. Suriname's culture thrives in its music, festivals, and cuisine. Koseko, genre blending African rhythms and European melodies, reflects the country's layered history. Festivals like Hindu Fagwa and Javanese Wayang bring communities together in celebration. Its cuisine showcases a world of flavors. Indian-inspired roti and curries, Javanese satay and nasi goreng, Creole dishes like pom, and Chinese dumplings all tell stories of migration, adaptation, and unity. Diversity in Suriname is more than a demographic fact, it's a way of life. Each community enriches the nation with its traditions, stories, and celebrations, making Suriname a living example of harmony and diversity. Despite being one of the least populated countries in the world, its rich cultural fabric and vast rainforests make it an unforgettable destination. Which aspect of Suriname's culture, its diverse ethnic groups, religious harmony, or unique cuisine, fascinates you the most, and why? Let us know in the comments below. Once a Dutch colony, it remains the only country in the region where Dutch is the official language, spoken by approximately 60% of the population. However, the most widely spoken language is Taki-Taki, a Creole language also known as Sran-Ntongo. Serving as the nation's lingua franca, Sran-Ntongo enables communication across Suriname's various ethnic groups, blending influences from English, Dutch, Portuguese, and African languages. Beyond Sran-Ntongo, Suriname's linguistic tapestry becomes even more fascinating. Languages such as Javanese, Sarnami Hindi spoken by descendants of Indian laborers, Spanish, Portuguese, Chinese, and several indigenous tongues fill the air in daily life. Indigenous groups, including the Arawak Lokono, Carib, Karienja, and Wayana communities, preserve their languages as vital elements of their cultural heritage, particularly in the country's interior regions. Suriname's Maroon communities, descendants of Africans who escaped plantations and established independent settlements, have also retained unique languages. Saramaccan, spoken along the upper Suriname River, is a Creole language shaped by English, Portuguese, and African linguistic elements. Similarly, Ndiuka or Akan shares some traits with Saramaccan but has distinct features. Other Maroon languages, such as Paramaccan and Iluku, add to this complex linguistic mosaic. In the bustling cities and serene villages, multilingualism is a way of life. A shopkeeper might shift effortlessly from Dutch to Taki-Taki, while a family might blend Javanese and Hindi during dinner conversations. This linguistic fluidity stems from both necessity and cultural pride. Schools emphasize Dutch to ensure national connectivity and opportunities, but families and cultural groups work tirelessly to preserve their ancestral languages for future generations. In Suriname, languages do not divide, they unite. Suriname's linguistic harmony raises an intriguing question. How does a country so diverse maintain its unity while preserving its many unique identities? The answer lies not just in its languages, but in the shared respect and mutual understanding that define this remarkable nation. But this unity hasn't come without challenges. Move to explore the traditions and values that hold Suriname together, and how they face the pressures of modern globalization. Suriname's presidential election process is unlike any other. The country's constitution, established in 1987, mandates that the 51 members of the National Assembly are elected by popular vote. So far, so familiar. However, it is these parliamentarians, not the general population, who are responsible for electing the president. To secure the presidency, a candidate must win 2/3 of the votes from the assembly members. If no candidate achieves this threshold, the matter moves to a larger body called the Popular Assembly, which includes regional representatives. Still no clear winner? The country can face a prolonged political deadlock, potentially leaving Suriname without a head of state, a scenario that became reality in 1991 when a stalemate among representatives temporarily left the nation leaderless. It's a truly unique political system, capable of producing highly unpredictable outcomes. But if you thought Suriname's voting process was complex, brace yourself for this twist. The country once elected a former military dictator as its president. Desy Bouterse, a controversial figure in Suriname's modern history, served as the nation's leader from 2010 to 2020. Bouterse's path to power began in 1980 when he led a military coup, famously referred to as the coup of the sergeants. Alongside 14 other military sergeants, he overthrew the government of Henk Chin Sen and established a military dictatorship that endured for more than a decade. Initially, Bouterse claimed his goal was to combat corruption and reduce unemployment, which affected 18% of the active workforce at the time. In practice, however, Suriname endured years of political repression and authoritarian rule. The darkest chapter of this era unfolded in December 1982, when 15 political opponents were detained at Fort Zeelandia and had an unwanted outcome that left an indelible mark on the nation's collective memory. After mounting international pressure, Bouterse relinquished power in 1987, but his time away from the political spotlight was brief. In 1990, he staged another coup, though this time without bloodshed, returning to a position of influence. Perhaps the most astonishing part of this story came in 2010, when Desy Bouterse was elected president through democratic means. Remarkably, this occurred despite him being the subject of an international arrest warrant issued by the Netherlands for drug trafficking charges. This dramatic political comeback raised eyebrows across the globe. It would be akin to a high-profile figure with a history of legal troubles being elected head of state in another country. It's a scenario so improbable, it almost defies belief. But while Suriname's political landscape reveals a history as turbulent as its elections, its economic and infrastructural strides tell a contrasting story of resourcefulness and progress. Its economy thrives on an abundance of natural resources, and its infrastructure tells a story of innovation and adaptation. Gold is a pillar of Suriname's economy, contributing significantly to its financial health. In 2021, the gold sector accounted for 8.5% of the country's gross domestic product. Large-scale mining operations contributed 58% of the output, while small-scale miners accounted for the remaining 42%. By 2023, gold exports brought in approximately $1.8 billion United States dollars, solidifying its place as a crucial economic driver. While bauxite mining once dominated Suriname's economic landscape, the sector has declined since multinational corporation Alcoa ceased operations in the country. Today, Suriname's oil industry takes the spotlight. The state-owned enterprise Staatsoli spearheads this sector, reporting revenues of $840 million United States dollars in 2022, with $320 million going to the national treasury. By the following year, revenues reached $722 million, contributing $335 million to the treasury. The company's refinery processes 16,500 barrels of oil daily, and it is actively involved in offshore exploration. Agriculture plays a vital role in Suriname's economy, with rice and bananas as standout exports. In 2018, the country produced over 273,000 metric tons of rice and 48,000 metric tons of bananas. These products remain a cornerstone of rural livelihoods and international trade. Suriname is also a leader in self-sufficient energy production, thanks to its reliance on hydroelectric power. Facilities such as the hydroelectric stations in Paramaribo and Nikari, alongside the Suriname Aluminum Company's station on the Blommestein Meer Reservoir, supply a significant portion of the nation's electricity. This sustainable approach underlines Suriname's commitment to energy independence. Did you know Suriname has been part of space exploration history? In 1965, the country hosted rocket launches for the Dutch Space Agency in collaboration with the United States. 4 Nike Apache rockets were launched from an improvised base in the Coroni district, strategically chosen for its proximity to the equator. This location was ideal for satellite launches, as it facilitated their placement into orbit. The launch pad, a modest structure of 20 meters by 20 meters, was enough to mark Suriname's contribution to space exploration. Which aspect of Suriname's story surprised you the most? Its role in space exploration, its gold-driven economy, or its reliance on hydroelectric power? Let us know your thoughts, and don't forget to subscribe and follow the channel to discover more interesting things. When we talk about Paramaribo, the capital city of Suriname, we delve into a fascinating blend of history, architecture, and culture. This city is a living open-air museum, boasting an incredible architectural style that seamlessly combines Dutch and Caribbean colonial influences. The streets of Paramaribo are lined with vibrant buildings and historic mansions, creating a distinct and memorable character. Recognizing its cultural and historical significance, UNESCO designated Paramaribo's historic center as a World Heritage Site. This prestigious recognition underscores the city's success in preserving its unique architectural styles and the harmonious coexistence of diverse cultures. Suriname's infrastructure, while modest, offers some surprising features. The country's road network spans just over 4,300 kilometers, of which approximately 1,100 kilometers are paved, leaving more than 3,000 kilometers unpaved. Intriguingly, Suriname is one of the few countries in the Americas where vehicles drive on the left side of the road, a practice shared with its neighbor, Guyana. When it comes to rail transport, Suriname possesses about 166 kilometers of single-track railways. This includes an 80-kilometer standard gauge line in West Suriname and an 86-kilometer narrow gauge line known as the Lawa Railway, which runs from Onverwacht to Sarah Creek. However, these railways are not currently operational. There were plans as recently as 2014 to reopen the line connecting Onverwacht to Paramaribo Central Station and to extend it to Johan Adolf Pengel International Airport. Yet, as of 2024, these plans remain unrealized. Suriname's waterways play a vital role in the country's transportation and trade. With 1,200 kilometers of navigable rivers, these waterways are integral to both domestic and international commerce. Many of them can accommodate ocean-going vessels with drafts of up to 7 meters, highlighting their importance for trade routes. The country's aviation network is also noteworthy. Suriname has 55 airports, of which 6 have paved runways and 49 have unpaved ones. Johan Adolf Pengel International Airport serves as the country's primary gateway for international travel, connecting Suriname to the rest of the world. Despite its modest infrastructure and unusual transportation quirks, Suriname's societal structures and cultural traditions reveal even more surprising elements. Suriname stands out as one of the few countries in the world without an army, a decision made all the way back in 1989. After a tumultuous era marked by coups and military rule, Suriname took the bold step of abolishing its armed forces entirely. This move was designed to prevent military interference in politics and to foster a lasting sense of internal peace. Today, the country relies on its police forces in cooperative agreements with neighboring nations, particularly Brazil and Guyana. Both countries have pledged to assist Suriname in the unlikely event of an external threat. Suriname also participates actively in regional organizations that prioritize security and collaboration. For instance, it is a member of the Union of South American Nations, which focuses on political, economic, and social integration across South America. Suriname is also part of CARICOM, the Caribbean Community, a group dedicated to regional development and mutual support in areas such as security and defense. Through these networks, Suriname benefits from shared resources and a sense of solidarity with its neighbors. While Suriname's decision to forgo an army might seem unique, it's not entirely unprecedented. Other small nations like Nauru have adopted similar strategies, relying on agreements with larger powers for their defense. With a population of over 500,000 people, you might expect Suriname to have a bustling entertainment scene. But the entire nation has just one movie theater, located in the capital city of Paramaribo. This small cinema serves as a cultural hub, screening a limited selection of films each week. For many residents, movie nights don't happen in multiplexes. Instead, they gather at home or in community spaces where films are shared and enjoyed together. This creates a sense of connection, turning what might seem like a limitation into a celebration of togetherness. This unique approach to entertainment highlights the resilience and adaptability of the Surinamese people, who have found ways to embrace global culture while staying true to their own traditions. But what does this say about how Suriname balances tradition and modernity? And how does the lack of large-scale entertainment shape its cultural identity? Tourism in Suriname plays a significant role in the economy. In 2016, the country welcomed around 256,000 international visitors. By 2018, tourism added approximately $73 million to the economy, and in 2019, it contributed about 2.6% to the gross domestic product, supporting roughly 5,700 jobs. For eco-conscious travelers, Suriname offers an unmatched experience. Its lush jungles host vibrant parrots, calling monkeys, and even the elusive harpy eagle. With over 700 bird species, it's a paradise for bird enthusiasts. Beyond the forests, Suriname's rivers invite visitors to kayak, canoe, or embark on rainforest tours. Village visits provide a unique chance to connect with indigenous and maroon communities and learn about their centuries-old traditions. An incredible 94% of Suriname's land is covered by pristine rainforests, making it a leader in ecotourism. The Central Suriname Nature Reserve, a UNESCO World Heritage Site since 2000, spans 1.6 million hectares and shelters diverse wildlife, including jaguars, giant armadillos, and primates. Ecotourism here emphasizes sustainability and community involvement. Activities such as jungle trekking, birdwatching, and cultural exchanges immerse visitors while promoting conservation and supporting local livelihoods. Local guides ensure income benefits the communities, and eco-lodges blend seamlessly with the environment, offering comfort without compromising the ecosystem. Suriname's commitment to preservation sets it apart. Nearly 90% of the country remains cloaked in tropical forests. Protected areas like the Central Suriname Nature Reserve highlight its dedication to biodiversity and responsible tourism. Despite its potential, Suriname remains one of South America's least visited destinations. For travelers, this means fewer crowds and more authenticity. It's perfect for those who value discovery, cultural connection, and exploration over luxury and convenience. In Suriname, every journey is an adventure into a world untouched and full of wonder. What will you discover in this remarkable country? Whether it's the stillness of the rainforest, the warmth of its people, or the beauty of its cultures, Suriname offers something unique to every traveler. If you enjoyed today's video, please give it a like and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Your support means a lot to us. Click on the video that appears on your screen right now. I'm sure you'll love this content. Comment below about the next country you'd like to see featured on our channel. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Thanks for being with us. Leave a comment, like to show your support, and remember to hit that subscribe button for more exciting videos. See you next time.